Would you like to understand how to alleviate your suffering by looking at the Buddhist Noble Eightfold Path? Then listen to this entire video for I explain a subsection, an important subsection of the Eightfold Noble Path. Okay, so in Buddhism there are the so-called Four Noble Truths, which explain that all life is suffering, and suffering stems from cravings and desires, and the way you alleviate them is by going through the Noble Eightfold Path. Now, the Noble Eightfold Path is a set of 8 statements that should be followed, and they are ideals, so you strive to behave, get closer towards them, and they are categorized into 3 sections. There's ethical conduct, which I did in my last video, then there's wisdom, and then there is mental discipline. And in this video we will delve into the wisdom section. Alright, so the wisdom section consists of the first 2 statements of the Noble Eightfold Path, which is you should have the right view and the right intention. Okay, so the right view indicates that one should adopt a mental perspective, an outlook that takes the world for what it really is and sees the world for what it truthfully is. And this is connected to the Four Noble Truths that life is suffering. So right view states that you should see life for what it really is, which is suffering. And also accepting it is almost more, is just as important, because when you you could say it's the same thing is acknowledging it is accepting it. You see it and you accept it. Although no, you can see the world as suffering but not necessarily accept it, but it's the right view states that you should see that life is suffering and accept it. And accept that your life is very limited, the universe is unlimited and quite overwhelming maybe. But this helps you understand the true nature of reality, the true nature of things. And this is also, as I said in my previous video, connected to other statements in the Noble Eightfold Path, such as right speech, because right speech says that you should speak truthfully, and that's connected to seeing the world truthfully, because if you see it, it's easier to speak it, I would say. It's the same, like, developing the habit to speak truthfully merges also into your perspective to see the world truthfully. So they're quite interconnected. And why is right view important? Well, seeing the world for what it really is important because you're not lying to yourself. That's what it is. Because when you deceive yourself, I think you corrupt your ability to see the world and to be self-aware and see yourself for who you really are. And I think a consequence of that is you desire, you deceptively desire things, whether it is to be someone who you're not, or to desire physical objects like wealth, maybe assets, certain wealth, assets perhaps, and that leads to suffering according to Buddhism. Now, the second eightfold statement in their Noble Eightfold Path is right intention. Now, right intention concerns it concerns the thing that precedes your ethical actions, let's say. It's commitment to ethical and mental self-improvement. And it's that you should refrain from the pull of desire. So resist yourself from your desires. And also not just your desires, like your physical desires, but also your mental thought process to resist the anger and resentment in your head, let's say. And don't think cruelly or violently or aggressively, which that statement I don't quite, I kind of disagree, but I understand it. And it says that one should be harmless, but that's not true. One shouldn't be harmless. One should behave. No, one should not act out unethical behavior, but one should know that you are not harmless, because no one is harmless. No human is harmless. And don't act, like the right intention says, don't act cruelly or violently, which is right, but know that you could easily behave violently or cruelly, and that should be avoided by all means. So that was the right view and right intention, which is the two statements that are part of the wisdom section of the Noble Eightfold Path in Buddhism. I hope you enjoyed this video and could learn something. And in the next video, the final video on the Noble Eightfold Path in Buddhism, I will be talking about mental discipline, the 3 statements of mental discipline. Thank you for listening.